we're going to have my man Isaiah come on and share with us what he's done to build his agency. So to give you guys a little bit of perspective, Isaiah has not even been here for 3 years yet. He's coming up on his 3-year mark. And he's got 202 writers this last month of November, and they did over $1.2 million in business in 1 month. Isaiah, it's a pleasure, man. I love seeing you guys win.
Dude, thank you for having me, man. Appreciate it a lot, man.
Thanks for jumping on with us, man. So let's jump in, man. So tell us, I know you've been here for about 3 years, but what did it look like when you started building? When did you start building, and what did it look like? I think are the key things that we want to share with everybody here.
Yeah. So, dude, just to be totally honest with you, I did not join Family First Life to build an agency. I didn't. I was in a position where I was just like, dude, I need to make money like now. And that's what attracted me most, was just how quickly we could get paid. So I did that. I was doing a lot on the personal production side. And then I realized, I was like, holy smokes, this is like really not that hard. And I really looked up to Andrew Taylor a lot, and I was like, dude, this guy is Andrew's legit, but I was like, he's not like super, super special, and like, look what this guy has done. I was like, if he can do this, like, I think I can do this too. Like, I just literally have to just show people like what I'm doing. And so I started hiring, but the problem was I didn't have much money right away. I didn't. I came into this business probably with like $4 to $5 grand in my bank.
So you started selling when you started, you were here selling to pay your bills, and that's kind of how you started, right?
Dude, straight up. That's the only reason I came here, is to pay my bills, for sure. And I liked the freedom aspect as well. Pay my bills, have some freedom. That really attracted me. But then it was just a little bit later down the road where I was like, dude, like, I'm sitting on a mountain of gold right now. Like, this, I do not want to be that guy that's like 4 or 5 years from now looking back like, dang, if only I would have built an agency. I did not want to be that person. So I started hiring, but the problem was I didn't have money. So I started hiring like all of my warm market, like literally every person. That's what I did to first get going.
So how did you do that? So there's a lot of new people on here, right? So let's talk about that, because I think that's important. So let's dig a little deeper. So what did you do to talk to your people? How did you get in front of them? Like, let's give them some things that they can take away today to maybe go hire some folks.
For sure. So I have quite a few friends on my my Instagram. I'm not very active on Facebook. So that's just me. Most of my crowd is on Instagram. But I was posting, like, when I was getting deposits, I was posting a lot of my deposits on my Instagram. I was posting a lot about freedom. I know there's like a lot of people out there that are looking for freedom. I wasn't necessarily just trying to sell the job on the money, because like after a while it seems like almost too good to be true.
Yeah. So
I like to make it seem very realistic. And then when I can get them on the phone, I can explain a little bit more. It's almost like booking an appointment. Like, you're not trying to sell the appointment on the phone. You're not trying to sell the insurance. You're just trying to get into the home. So kind of same scenario here. I was just trying to get people on the phone with me. Grady's like super big on like curiosity. I took that to heart. Like, I wanted people to look at my social media and be like, dude, what is this? Like, what is that? And I'm like, dude, call me. Give him my phone number. Call me. And I was getting on the phone. So I was doing a lot of that. I was talking about like, I was traveling a lot. So I was running business. I'm originally from Salt Lake. So when I was traveling to Florida, I was posting a lot, like, in Florida, have the freedom to work wherever I want to. What else was I posting? I was posting some deposits for sure. Definitely was doing that. So I just started getting a lot of people like just asking me, dude, what is this? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And guys, I built my agency to senior sales manager, strictly warm market, not one like dollar spent on cold market recruiting. So that was like my friends that recruited some of their friends. And the thing is too, is like, I think a lot of people think like that's hard, like to get 100 grand from just strictly your warm market. But it's like, look at it this way. Like if you sell 40 grand, you only need like 3 people to sell like 20 grand. And that like, you're there, you know what I mean? So, I was selling like 35, 40. You guys might know a guy named Jordan Pryor. He was a guy I grew up with. So he was the first guy that I hired. He was selling like 30 as well. We had another guy named Quincy, who's actually no longer with us, but Quincy introduced us to another guy who's one of our top producers. It's just kind of crazy how that works out. But guys, I mean, we got a logo with like not that many writers, seriously. So it kind of came to a point where here's a piece of advice I'd say too, when you're hiring like on social media. The thing for me that I noticed was like, I couldn't talk about FFL like all day, every day, and that's it. I couldn't do that because at that point, it just like, it seems kind of spammy. And you guys know, like when you're scrolling on social media and you see like an ad 100 times, like you literally just like skip it. I know people were doing that. Like I was posting so much FFL stuff. They're just like, this guy's posting FFL
Get sick of it.
Yeah. So I like to post a lot of just like personal stuff about my life. Like I see a funny meme, like I'd post it. Just dumb stuff, like whatever. I mean, just personal, whatever I'm doing in my life. So I made it a point to make sure I had a good balance of both. So like people saw that like, hey, I was a real person. I'm not like some spam account, but hey, this like real person has a really cool job and I'm hiring, dude, you know? So I wanted to be that guy.
So piquing curiosity, not giving a lot of context over social media, more so get on the phone, let's talk, so you can have a conversation. And and really, when you're using social media, share what we're doing, the freedom, the chat, the paychecks, your life, your personality, so they can connect. Now, all right, so that got you to senior sales manager. So that's like the foundation. You may have 10 agents, you may have whatever the number of agents you have, right? Mm-hmm. But now, I mean, you're at 1.2 million. Like, yeah, so what's changed? What are you doing now, right? Like, and how did that evolve? Because I think everybody on here can find 5 to 10 people easily. Like literally everybody on here, you're watching this. Would you agree with that, Isaiah? 5 to 10 people easily.
100%. There's not one person in this entire company that can convince me you can't get to senior sales manager without your warm market. Like no one can convince me that you can't.
So yeah, I agree. So everybody on here, you're on here, you have a goal of building. You should make a goal in the next 30 days to find 5 people if you don't have them right now. Like that's 1 a week, right? That's such a minor goal. And then once you hit that 5, all right, next month, let's do 10. Next month, let's do 15. And that's how you progress and start building your agency, just through warm market for free, right? So
and I would say too, oh, sorry, dude, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and we harp on this a lot, but guys, it's so true. Like you have to lead from the front. You have to, like, you have to sell at a high level if you want to build this fast. Now, I'm not saying like you don't have to, because there's people that have built really big businesses here that like weren't really selling at a really high level. But if you want to build it fast, you have to, because I was always told your team is going to do half of what you do. So I knew like, dude, if I need like 3 to 4 20K riders, like I have to be doing at least 35, 40 for that to happen. So that was super crucial for me to make sure I was leading. I wanted to show people that like, this is legit. This is real. So I just wanted to say that, like, I think for sure you can find 5 people, but you got to make sure you're selling at a high level.
I agree, man. I mean, that's what pushed me to continue to sell and try to lead from the front, right? Like I know I can inspire more by saying, look, I can do it. You can do it too. Right. Mm-hmm. So talk to us now. What is, I'm sure social media is part of your recruiting strategy, but talk to us a little bit about the different platforms you're recruiting on. What are you doing? What does staff look like? How has this thing evolved for you, man? Because obviously you can't just grow to 1.2 million just like that, right? So what's different for you? And I guess we'll go from there.
Yeah, good question, man. So after I kind of got into my warm market, I always had like there was always something that kind of held me back with like spending money on advertising for hiring, just because I was already buying leads and I was like, this is a lot. It kind of freaked me out in the beginning. So even when I was at like senior sales manager, 100 grand, like I really didn't want to invest in like hiring. So I did things like I try to get really creative with trying to recruit for free. So I was like super big on LinkedIn. I was outreaching a lot of people on there. And the thing is too about LinkedIn, I would say probably my biggest advice is it's being consistent on LinkedIn. It really is, because I set a goal for myself. Like I gave myself a quota. Every single night before I went to bed, I had an hour. I had to spend 1 hour on LinkedIn sending messages. And my goal was to send 50 messages a day.
You just said the same message, copy, paste, right?
Copy, paste.
So guys, all of you guys can be doing that. You're watching this today. You set aside an hour, 30 minutes. It doesn't take long to copy paste. If you don't have a bunch of connections, you make a bunch of connections on LinkedIn. You do that first, so you connect with the people. Then you message them, is what he's saying, and you have the same message. If you need help crafting a message, reach out. We'll help you. Mm-hmm. So 50 a day.
That's what I did. I mean, it was a mandatory thing. And what's crazy is like we have like probably like 150-ish grand a month from my personal LinkedIn recruits. An hour a day of just like doing that balls to the wall, like consistently every single day for months straight. I think that's where like a lot of people kind of like they give up because they're like, hey, I tried LinkedIn and it kind of sucks. It's like, dude, it sucks for sure. I did it for like months straight, every single night for an hour, sending 50 messages every single day. Like, it but it works because you're going to find that one person on the right day. Because there's been agents that we've got that were like, hey, there's like 3 other agents that reached out to me, but like today was such a bad day at work. Like I just had to give in, and like you were the one who messaged me. Like that's happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just being very consistent on there. So yeah, the thing is too that I want to say is like when you're outreaching on LinkedIn, you don't want to send them a message like immediately after you connect with them, because then it just seems like it's a spam account. So like I was sending them messages like probably 4 to 5 days after we connected. And the other thing too is like I posted a lot on LinkedIn too, like just stuff, not necessarily like I'm hiring. I'd post like motivational quotes. I'd post just like, I'd see like interesting articles on business. I'd post that. I'm just trying to get engagement. Right. Yeah. Just being really, really consistent on there and making sure that you're posting too, not just strictly sending messages. Post on your status. So that's LinkedIn. So yeah, we got some recruits off of that. Okay. And then I was like, all right, well, making some money, selling like 40 grand a month. I probably should like get some staff now. So probably around like VP level, 150 grand. I think I waited too long, guys. We should probably have staff before then. But that's when I hired my first staff. And that's Carolina. I don't know if you guys have seen her around, probably. So she did everything for me. Like everything. She was more of like a personal assistant than like a staff member that had like a job. So she was like booking appointments for me. She was calling the carriers for me. She was sending thank you cards to my clients. She was doing a lot of the stuff that just like took a lot of time, that kept me away from doing like income producing activities. So then I was able to like just have more time to like be in the field and just being more active on like, again, like income producing activities. Then we started hiring cold market. So for cold market, what we did at first was we did Facebook ads, and I was buying them through vendors. I can't remember who the very first one was. I think it was Leadrilla. There was some company, dude, that was doing.
They're not around anymore anyway.
Somebody was doing recruiting leads.
Mm-hmm.
So we were buying those. They're okay. We were talking to people for sure. And then I jumped onto ZipRecruiter as well
Do you
around
still
that
have
time.
ZipRecruiter?
Huh?
Do you still have ZipRecruiter?
Not anymore.
Okay.
No. So here's what took us to the next level though, was I was on ZipRecruiter and I was on like Leadrilla buying leads. And there was at one point, I mean, just from doing this so consistently, guys, and LinkedIn, there was at one point I had like 35 or like 36 direct agents to me personally. And I was like, this is literally so much to handle. I can't be in the field full time talking to all these people. Like it was just so much. I was like losing my mind. So I did a little bit of rearranging in my agency, and there was, I think 3 or 4, there's like, I think 4 people that I was like, I really saw potential in. They were selling at a high level. They also had staff. And I was like, okay, Jordan, I'm going to give you some agents because like I literally can't handle it anymore. But the fact that I'm giving you agents, like you need to keep selling at a high level. You need to have staff. And I also need you to jump on ZipRecruiter with me. Are you game for that? I'm game for it. So I did that with 4 people. So now instead of me hiring by myself, like hiring like an adult, like hiring like cold market, putting money into it, now it went immediately to 5 of us. 5.
So talk to us about that. So you split the cost with all of them. Did you cover the cost and they did the hiring? What did that look like?
I didn't cover any costs because I gave them the agents. Like, so they, I gave them agents. So like, I was like, hey, you're probably going to start getting a little bit of overrides here.
Got it.
You need to get ZipRecruiter. The agents covered the cost. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I did. That was the agreement that I did. I was like, hey, if you don't want ZipRecruiter, I just won't give you these agents. Like,
So it's a trade-off. You're giving them agents, so they're going to earn an override, and then they're just going to take that override and pay for ZipRecruiter so they can keep building forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. Smart. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and then at that point there was 5 of us building, like 5. So we started seeing a lot of growth from there. And then what really gave us like a push is when I moved to Florida. And the reason why is because like I came from Salt Lake City, and when I was in Salt Lake, I had like a lot of the direct mail out there for like the major counties, and I was selling like 35, 40. And there was a lot of leads that like I wasn't getting to just because I was getting so many. And my idea was like, I was talking to Sean, talking to Andrew, like, hey, I think I want to move. What do you guys think? They're like, yeah, do it. And I was doing the math in my head. I was like, okay, if I'm selling like 40 grand and 35, 40 grand a month off of this lead flow, if I kind of split these leads up amongst like 3 agents, they'll probably get 70 grand a month out of it instead of my 40, because 3 people can work it a lot better than just me. And I'll just go sell 35, 40 in Florida. So like immediately I was like, let's do it. I'm game. I moved, gave up a lot of my lead flow, and immediately just from the move, like we didn't change anything, just from me moving, we jumped like 75 grand a month just from the move, because I still sold. But the agents sold more from my leads. Does that make sense? So yeah, we had some momentum there, and then that was just like a big push. Boom. We jumped, had agents that were making more money in Salt Lake. They were super excited. I was making money here. And that's when we just kind of kept it rolling.
So talk to us now about what are you doing now to hire recruits, you and your team? Like, so what platforms are you on? Maybe how much what's your lead spend look like now? I know you kind of warmed up to that, but obviously it sounds like you're doing cold market recruiting at this point. So if you can share with us that, because, some of us want to do cold market but just maybe not doing it as well as you are.
Yeah. So right now, total, we're putting, and this is just me, so I have people underneath me that are doing this too. So we're putting out like $7,000 a month into marketing. So
what is that going into?
so a lot of it, I would say probably like 40 to 50% of it are Facebook ads. Okay, that we are doing ourselves.
You run, yeah, I was gonna ask. Okay.
Yep. Reason why I did that is just because I can control the costs a little bit better. And guys, like I didn't come from a background where I knew how to run Facebook ads. It was last year, 2020, this time exactly, actually, when we were going into like the Christmas break. I was like, I'm going to try and figure out how to generate my own recruiting leads. And I literally spent like a week straight. I didn't sell, I didn't do anything. And I watched a shitload of YouTube videos of how to generate my own recruiting ads. So that's what I did. And I started playing around with it. My cost got up to like $25 a lead. And I was like, geez, this is expensive. And I just started making little tweaks. And now my lead like per lead, it's like, it ranges between like $7 and $8 a lead. So that's from generating our own Facebook ads. I started shying a little bit away from ZipRecruiter. I don't like to talk bad about any companies. I really don't, because we have some solid recruits from ZipRecruiter. Like, I mean, Zach Egan came from ZipRecruiter. I even heard Zach Twardowski came from ZipRecruiter. We have like a 20K a month producer came from there. Couple like 10K producers.
I think we have a Hall of Fame producer that came from Zip, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So, I mean, it works. And you guys have probably heard me say this before. Like, honestly, all the platforms, like, they all kind of suck. But the thing is that they all work a little bit, because you're gonna talk to like really negative, shitty people on all platforms. You know what I mean? But then you're gonna find that one person, right? And you're like, dang, it was so worth it. Like one good, like that Hall of Fame producer probably played for, I mean, whatever the platform is, paid for the platform for the entire year. You know what I mean? So it's just about finding that. It's just getting out there, just having tons of content out there, because the right person will eventually see it. But so we transitioned from Zip. Again, I don't really know why I got away from it. I just wanted to try something else, and we started doing Indeed, and so we're running Indeed and Facebook ads right now. That's what we're doing.
Okay.
So I have 2 full-time recruiters that have like 15 appointments a day.
Preset.
Preset. Mm-hmm. So what they're doing is I alternate the recruiters. So like one of them recruits Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the other one recruits Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But recruiter number 1 that has Friday and Saturday off, what she's doing is following up with all the people that are in her pipeline. Does that make sense? And then the other agent or the other recruiter is following up with their pipeline on Monday, Tuesday. Does that make sense?
Say that one more time.
Okay. So I have 2 recruiters full time.
Yep.
They have 15 appointments per day. Recruiter number 1 has 15.
Monday through Sunday?
Monday. Recruiter number 1 has appointments on Monday, has appointments on Tuesday, has appointments on Wednesday, and is off Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Okay. She's not off working. Thursday and Friday, all she's doing is following up. Like, hey, what chapter are you on? How are things going? She's having people, because she's doing the onboarding for them as well. Like when they go through, get their pre-licensing, they start their contracting. She's like, okay, you're going to need these carriers. And then she's getting them to schedule one-on-one strategy sessions with me. So that's like a lot, what I do a lot of my time right now is I'm spending one-on-one time on Zoom with agents doing lead strategy, all that stuff. And then, so that's recruiter number 1, right? 2 recruiters. So recruiter number 2 has appointments Thursday, has appointments Friday, and has appointments Saturday. And then he's doing follow-up at the beginning of the week. So they're just basically on opposite shifts. But as a whole, we have interviews every day. Does that make sense?
So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, they do appointments. Mm-hmm. And then the follow-up you said was
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay.
So he's off Sunday, Monday.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
The reason why I had to do that, here's what I found was just like, so her name's Brenda, recruiter number one. So in the beginning, she was doing 15 appointments Monday through Friday. And she told me, she's like, Isaiah, I'm getting burnt out. Like, I'm literally on the phone all day. I have an hour lunch. I can't keep going. And I was like, it's probably a good thing actually to give her some time off so that like she can breathe a little, right? And like, if we're literally just pumping so many people in and there's no time to talk to these people, like, it doesn't make any sense. So she has 2 days to just kind of slow down, relax. She's getting people through. And, so one thing I would say about staff is like, you want to make sure that you have people that you trust. Because like, I mean, she could just be dicking around, not doing anything, but I know she's working. I know she is, because I pay her really well. And she works extremely hard, and we communicate like all day long, you know? So, so she's working. Same thing with my other guy, but that's their schedule. And we're putting about $7,000 a month into Facebook ads and Indeed. And that's filling up their schedules.
Got it. Okay. Awesome. Well, man, no wonder why you are growing at the pace you're growing. You got a machine over there, you got people working, you got leads coming through, and you got a system where they're filtering through, they're following up, and they're moving them through. So, all right, man, as we wrap up today, anything else you want to kind of share as we close out for all the people on here looking to build a team?
Yeah, for sure. I'd probably end with this. I would say probably the biggest lesson that I learned, guys, when building an agency here is don't be cheap. Because when I first started, I was trying to do everything the really cheap way. Like, I was hiring, a bunch of people in like the Philippines because I could pay them freaking $5 an hour. But what was happening was I was getting like $5 an hour results. Even with staff, like, that's probably the biggest thing was like, I was always trying to like find someone that would be willing to work for less. And I remember talking to Andrew one time, and I was like, dude, if you could go back and like, if you had to change anything, like, what do you think you would change? And he said, I would have hired quality staff and paid them more earlier than I did. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. So what I did was, at my previous job, I worked at a trucking company, and there was a recruiter there that like broke all these records. She recruited truck drivers. And so I hit her up one day. I'm like, hey, how's it going? How's work going? She's like, oh, it's going okay. I was like, if you don't mind me asking, like, how much are they paying you? She's like, I make pretty good money. She's like, I make like $60,000 a year. I was like, geez, all right, well, how about what would you do if I told you could work from home? You could work for me. You can have a lot of freedom, and I'll pay you $65,000 a year plus bonus, plus health insurance. Would you do it? She was like, of course I would do that. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And what freaked me out was like, I was like, okay, $65,000 a year, like, that's more than I made the previous year. So like, how the hell am I going to pay somebody else? And but I was like, we're going to do it. And I was just going to say, look, let's just figure it out. And guys, what's crazy is like, as soon as I hired her, like, the growth, I don't know if it was just pure luck or whatever, but like, we just started rolling. And so don't be cheap, guys. Work with quality people that, that want to work hard, that see the vision, that care about your business as much as you do. And I mean, there's no reason why you won't grow. I mean, so don't be cheap, guys. I would say that's probably my biggest piece of advice. I would say another thing too is like, you got to have fun. Okay. Because there's been like a lot of months where like I was stressed out. There's a lot of output, obviously, because I'm spending a lot of money on the business and I'm just going back and forth. I'm like, gosh, we didn't hit this number. I didn't sell this number. And I think it's really easy to get caught up in the numbers. And like, it was getting to the point where like, it was like literally stressing me out. But guys, like, we work for the #1 IMO in the country. We sell more life insurance than any other company in the country. This company is making more millionaires than any company I know of in the country. And we're helping a ton of people, clients and agents. Like, this is freaking awesome. Like, this is the best business ever, you know? So like, enjoy the process. There's going to be ups and downs, but like, have fun, you know, enjoy the process, because guys, like, when you're having fun, then it doesn't really feel like it's work. Like, we're just going out to have a good time and help as many people as we can. So don't be cheap, guys. Have a lot of fun, and I don't see why you don't grow.
I love it, brother. Hey, Isaiah, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and helping us and pouring into our team and our agency, future agency leaders here. So thanks so much, man. I hope you guys took some notes. I hope you guys not only take the notes, but actually apply what you heard today, because without application, knowledge isn't any good, right? Knowledge is good, but you got to apply it. So go out there, apply it, build a team. Isaiah, we'll be talking soon. Thanks, brother.
Appreciate you.
Take care, you guys.
Have a good one. Be safe, guys.